Hey everybody, real quick, we're going to be doing some community Am I the Asshole submissions. If you would like your own Am I the Asshole moments judged on stream, we have a link down here so that you can submit your own. Anyway, that's it. Here's the actual holes.
We will inspect your homes in your home right now.
Welcome to Hole Inspector. Oh, wait, hang on, let me. Hole Inspector. Welcome to Hole Inspector. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I got another one for us. Am I the asshole for putting meat in a tofu dish? I'll put my meat in your tofu dish. Hey, yo! As a vegetarian, yes, if it's meant to not have meat, yeah. Dietary restrictions, here we come, baby. This feels like a trick, right? I think I got baited with the title. Ain't that just the way, baby? All right, here we go. Am I the asshole for putting meat in a tofu dish? This happened at a potluck. I brought a dish that was tofu stir-fried with minced pork, ginger, and spring onions, similar to mapo, tofu, but not spicy. Everything was fine, except when someone asked me if my dish was halal, I said no, it has pork. That's when Jen overheard and freaked out that she ate meat. And it turns out a lot of other vegetarians ate my dish, assuming it was vegetarian. For the rest of the party, I had so many people, including non-vegetarians, tell me I was an asshole for putting meat in a vegetarian dish. But this is a dish I grew up with. Tofu for me is just an ingredient, not strictly a meat substitute. Also, no one asked me if my dish was vegetarian. So am I the asshole here, or are people just overreacting? Oh, well, we got baited. If you are a vegetarian, have dietary restrictions that you ask. Right. Edit says, since so many people are asking, nothing was labeled. I just left the dish on the buffet table along with the rest of the dishes. There were many other meat dishes. About 20 people at the party, 4 were vegetarian. No one asked about my dish except for the person asking if it was halal. No one asked. Everyone saw tofu and then assumed that it was vegetarian. For a potluck, dishes should all be labeled. Right. Literally, party goers are uneducated. Right. Absolutely not the asshole. Mapo tofu is stupid common. No one is picketing Chinese restaurants. Right. You always ask if a dish has something you can't eat in it. Right. 100%. That is on the organizer of the potluck then. Right. OP def not the asshole. More like everyone else being asked. Like, count what it sounds like. Let's read some comments. They assumed it was vegetarian just because they have a weird misconception that tofu exists only for vegetarians. That they didn't bother to ask is on them, not the asshole. Snaps. Absolutely. Absolutely. Not the asshole. Chinese tofu dishes and other vegetable dishes often contain pork to add flavor. It's not your fault they didn't know that, and I bet they'd actually eaten pork at Chinese food places since they didn't. Esports. That was an easy one. This was easy. That was a fast hole. Damn. 72% said asshole. Holy shit. 72% said asshole for this one, and it's not the asshole. Damn. Damn, buh. Here we go. I got another one for you. Am I the asshole for telling my sister her haircut isn't some big achievement? Literally, listen to this shit. The first sentence of this. The title, Am I the asshole for telling my sister her haircut isn't some big achievement? The first sentence, my dad died unexpectedly and relatively young. My youngest sister was 3 at the time. Her hair was a lot like his. It's super curly. Because of this, our mom did a lot to maintain it. Growing up, mom would spend hours on my sister's hair, and each morning was dedicated to the 2 of them in the bathroom, with my sister screaming and crying because brushing through it was long and unpleasant. Up until she was 13, mom insisted on washing and styling my sister's hair. She never let her cut it or dye it. When someone suggested getting it trimmed, they were kicked out of the house? I won't lie, my mom was controlling at times, but I thought we all knew it because of grief and memory of our dad. Jesus Christ! My mom died, and the first thing my sister did was get her hair chopped incredibly short and died. She sent myself and my siblings a picture of her new haircut with the caption, Sharon, our mom, always said I was going to grow my hair down to my butt. Not anymore. I thought it was my sister's way of grieving, but now she mentions it a lot, like asking how pissed do I think mom would be if she saw my hair was this short. I told her after the 5th comment to stop acting like her haircut was a big achievement. It's not. Millions of people get haircuts, and she should know her hair was important to mom because it reminded her of dad. She said she wasn't supposed to be Sharon's doll or a replacement for their dad. She should have been her own person, and if I can't respect that, she doesn't need me in her life. Am I the asshole? Yes, you are. Yeah, you're an asshole. Literally your entire life, your dead mom used your sister to grieve through her hair, so much so that it was a point of control in your entire household. And now that your sister is free from this trauma, you said, fuck you, you should be grateful. How can people have such a lack of empathy that they go through typing this whole thing out with their whole fucking chest, and not for a second think, hey, maybe I'm kind of an asshole? Everyone cuts their hair. Yeah, she did, exactly. This is her first haircut where she made the decision. Ooh, okay. Here we go. Top comment here. Yes, the asshole. Hun, it wasn't just controlling. Your mother was abusive. Torturing a kid like this for something that's not medical is absolutely traumatizing. It was a big step for her. It was a huge step for her. But her sister doesn't. Mom was grieving, but her sister doesn't get to have feelings too. What? It's because the brother, it sounds like OP was jealous of the time that she got to spend with mom. That's what I'm thinking. Asshole. Easy. That's an easy hole. Ooh, I saved this one. I'm pretty sure I saved this one. Here we go. You fucking ready? The next post title is, am I the asshole for not watching kids at a cookout and leaving them unsupervised? I mean, depends on if they're your kid or not. We need more context, don't we? Imagine needing more context for am I the asshole? Imagine. All right, here we go. I, 27M, was at a backyard cookout with some friends and coworkers. So the ages were late 20s to early 40s. It was a family-friendly event, so people brought their kids. They were playing in the yard while most of the adults hung out on the backyard deck. And like always, the parents saw other adults in the area and decided to just walk away and go inside. I don't know why this is a thing a lot of parents tend to do. Parents, why do you just walk away at outings and expect other people to watch your kids? I don't get it. I could see it if it was your immediate family, but even then I would warn someone that was not going to be watching for the safety of my kids. Right, exactly. It was near the end of the night, and so some people were gone. It was also getting dark and colder, so people were inside. The kids were still running around playing outside. I decided to go home. I went inside and said goodbye to the host. Then I got into my car out front, was on my phone for a minute, and someone angrily walked up and asked me why I left the backyard. They said I was back there and they were counting on me to watch the kids. Note that this was never said to me. They just went inside and said nothing. I was on the deck and at no point in the night was I ever paying attention to the kids. Nothing dangerous happened around the kids. The parent just saw me walking to my car and freaked out. I told her it's not my job to watch your kids, but I probably would have stuck around if I was asked. I was just sitting on the deck and drinking beer and minding my own business. I had already been going back and forth from outside to socialize the whole night like everyone else. Not sure why I was being singled out. There were times when another person happened to be outside and I was inside. Did they just assume we were taking shifts? I don't get the mentality of parents, but maybe I'm an asshole here. Also, I want to note that the backyard was not fenced off. She brought that up a lot, and I just retorted with even more reason to stay with your kids. The backyard was one of those open ones that opens into the forest. Before this gets out of hand, I did not drive drunk. I had a single drink and was not drunk or even somewhat tipsy. Edit! I don't think it's clear, so I will clarify. I had no knowledge of being on kid duty. The backyard is large and open and led into the forest. I was on the small deck by the house. At no point in the night was I watching or listening for kids. The whole night I was periodically going inside and outside freely. I never considered kids because I assumed the responsible parents were keeping an eye out. Yeah, what the fuck? Like, you left your kids outside unsupervised with adults that were drinking, and you didn't ask them to watch your kids, and now you're yelling at a stranger for not watching your own children. The absolute entitlement of it all. There's an asshole here, but it ain't the OP. It ain't the OP. Most def not the asshole, not your kids, not your responsibility, especially if not even asked nicely. Right. I'm the type of person to just watch over kids because I'm hyper vigilant, but I know that not everyone is like that. If I need to step away, I ask somebody I know to watch my son. Exactly. That's what you should do, right? That's what you should do. Not just leave your kids because some adults are around, you know? But see there, you used your words. Exactly. And yet again, another Am I the Asshole post that could have been avoided with the most basic communication with another adult human being. Imagine talking to someone. Ew, I know, right? Obi told the host that they were leaving, so they did tell someone. That's fair, you know? Fair. Let's read some comments. Not the asshole. The parent has some nerves. You are not psychic. They are out of line. 100%. Oh, yeah. Just overwhelmingly Reddit says not the asshole. That was an easy hole. Easy hole. Easy hole. New hole inspector post. Oh God. Oh, it's juicy. Oh, it's juicy. Am I the asshole for blowing up at my mom when she said the reason I turned out so good is because she sent me to rehab for weed at 13? I'll 20M admit that I was just shitty tween. I got into a lot of fights with my parents. My grades were shit and I was genuinely a prick. When I was 13, some friends and I shared a joint. One of them had gotten from their sister. It had been made legal in our state at the time. My parents found out and they went nuts. Now, I get that weed isn't for 13-year-olds, but they took it way too far. I spent the next 3 months in an expensive rehab facility for troubled teens. I was by far the youngest and the smallest. Most of these guys were 16 to 18, and they weren't in there for weed. Most of them did hard drugs and had mental issues on top of that. My roommate was a 17-year-old who was detoxing from meth and pills, who also had unmedicated bipolar. A few nights, he'd just stare at me and not sleep. We were in our rooms 18 hours a day. Everything else was meals or shitty arts and crafts. It was hell, but it worked. I was too terrified to have friends, much less do drugs. I wanted to go to NC with my family at 18, but my therapist encouraged me to repair our relationship. Throw the therapist away. We have a rocky one, which is why I moved out, but we've been working on healing and it's been cordial. I was over there for Easter with the whole family and my mom congratulated me. She said she was so thankful she had sent me to get help as a kid. Otherwise, I'd just be some junkie. One joint! He had a single joint at 13 years old! A single joint in a legal state even. Hang on 2 seconds. Anyway, she said she was so thankful she had sent me to get help as a kid, otherwise I'd be just some junkie. But now I'm a perfectly functioning member of society. I lost it. I called her several things, including a "see you next Tuesday," and left. My sister, 18F, said that while she agrees, I'm just hurting myself by holding on to so much anger over what happened. No, you're allowed to be traumatic. You don't have to let your parents into your life. Let's see some comments. There's always room in the blanket fort that is the Dead Parents Club, even if your parents are only dead to you.
Binghole!
I'm over here having a fucking like profound revelation of like what was just said, and then just being whole. Gives the same energy when the dare officer shows you what each drug looks like, how to buy it, and what it does. Oh no, that happened. My dare was not like that. Oh no. I want to know if this is a shared experience for other people, but like, first of all, did y'all have dare programs when you were in school? Did you do the dare program? If you did, do you remember the dare program just being an extremely thinly veiled program to get you to convert to Christianity? Okay. Yeah, okay. Not in my corner of Canada, but we had similar, and yes, as I'm remembering this memory, I am realizing how absolutely fucking buck shit wild it is. I'm gonna summarize this as best I can in the most ridiculous sentence that I could possibly say. The dare officer from my junior high school took me to a church outreach program that was designed to get you to not do drugs, in which I was told by a minister that I could play infinite video games on the biggest flat screen TV that I could imagine when I went to heaven. That sounds like a Fall Out Boy song. I'm gonna go hang out with my cottagecore lesbian witch friends and play video games and drink Mountain Dew in the woods.
20 minutes later.
Oh my God. All right, enough talk about religion. The vibes, they're being harshed. Oh God, that's some seriously wild shit. Whew. So Opie, not the asshole? Nope, not even a little bit. We're going not the asshole on this one. All questions are rhetorical unless accompanied by pegging. What a wonderful spoiler safe word we have.